Hello, everyone, and welcome. Hope that you all are doing amazing, phenomenal, and well. As you can see, I already have the cards picked out. I actually had them picked out earlier this morning, and I just didn't really feel like doing it in the morning. Like, typically, what I do is I'll prep my house, I'll do my readings, do my studying for the day, and then I'll do you guys' readings. But after I did my reading, my studying, I just pulled your cards, and I didn't feel like doing the reading then. And if you're into human design, I'm an emotional authority. If I'm my emotions, my feelings, my passion, my intuition, like everything is not like, baby, it ain't happening. There's no mind over matter over here. It is emotion over matter over here. Okay? It is feelings, it is emotion over here. And so I was like, let me just wait till I'm ready. And so it was just a lot of signs that was just like, okay, now's the time, now's the time. And so now is the time. Even Ruhi's back there laying down, he's chilling. Beforehand, he was me out on my feet after he woke up from a snap. So, again, fine timing. So, I just kind of asked the question, what's going on with y'all? You know, what is going on with you guys, the collective? What is happening? And how it kind of works is I'll walk you through it as I'm explaining it. Is I ask, okay, what's going on with the collective? The Hermit card came out. Franco energy came out. And I said, what is the complete opposite of that energy? Then the Eight of Cups came out. Then, and what I mean came out is this card came out, excuse me, thank you, Spirit, say correct yourself. This card came out, and then I was just pulling from the top of the deck with the rest of the cards. Then I said, what's the opposite of the Hermit card? They gave me the Eight of Cups. That's going to come up to the way that I'm speaking, how things are working. Then we have the Queen. Exactly, Ruby. Thank you, baby, because he felt the energy too. They can see you, by the way, if you don't want to be on camera. And then when we got the Queen of Wands, and I said, why is the Eight of Cups coming out? Then we got the Queen of Wands coming here, Libra energy. Then I said, okay, what's the opposite of that? The Page of Pentacles. Now, the Page of Pentacles, for some reason, it like flipped out of my hand as I was pulling it to pull it over here. It's almost like in the reverse energy. And then it went upright, and it's almost like this hesitation. So, with the words, oh my God, I didn't even get to that part. Yeah, Spirit said just get out. Before I started, because I was just relaxing, watching Naruto, just calming down, using myself, got my lights on, I already listened to my music, just enjoying my company, my energy, talking to ancestors, all the good jazz. um, and it was like there's a lump in my throat. Like it was like, should I go now? What's happening? Or like, because at first I was like, are we doing it? Like, am I doing it? Like, am I going to do the reading? And it just felt like this lump in my throat and this kind of heaviness on my chest. And I'm like, okay, this doesn't even feel like me, because it doesn't feel like what I was feeling beforehand. But as soon as I'm thinking about doing the reading and the energies and the signs of seeing, let's go ahead and do the reading. It's like it's feeling like I'm pressured down. And then I immediately saw, I don't know if anybody else has seen Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. I would say that's probably one of the best Scooby-Doos, like, just from, like, an amazing spiritual standpoint, like, so fucking good. But, okay, we're gonna close this, because he's gonna keep whacking his tail, for one. For two, we're gonna open the window. There you go, honey bunches. Okay. And so in the Mystery Incorporated, there's a girl that sings, "There's a lump in my throat." And that's all she sings. She says something over and over again to those lines, but like that's the part that really fucking sticks out to me, is her saying, like, there's a lump in my throat, and there's always right before a disaster happens. Like, she keeps getting booked in these places, but it feels like there's a lump in your throat. It feels like there's a pressure, there's a weight on your chest. It feels like you can't move from where you are. And the Hermit card is really, I always like to think of it as almost like somebody going to enlightenment, because that is what the Hermit card. But if you're in the Hermit card too long, reaching that enlightenment, reaching that goal of doing shadow work, of getting to know self, getting to understand, coming back with wisdom, knowledge, it's like it can kind of foster in a way, because the fact that I said that this is opposite energy, it almost feels like you can't abandon hiding what you know. Sorry, it feels like you are yeah, no, I said that right. Thank you. And so with the Hermit card, it's like it feels like this is the current energy that you're in, and you're trying to figure out a way out of it. I've been like, okay, I've done the studying, or I've took the classes, or I've been practicing, or whatever it is you've been really honing in, or you just been, I've been asking myself questions and getting the answer. I've been changing the way that I show up in relation. It's like this energy where you really went in and you changed values and intentions, and you feel like maybe you changed so much that you don't even recognize yourself and who you are. If you even look at the card, it's like it's trying to hide from everything and hide from the world, and it's like you're never even alone, because look at that fish. Life is still going on in the background, and your body is still casting a shadow. And so you're realizing that you still have this energy, and so you're like, have I changed too much? Can I go back out there? And so the opposite of this Hermit energy of questioning this lump in your throat, questioning, speaking up what you need to speak up, do what you need to do. And if I was here, do what you need to do, then they immediately feel like they have to overwork themselves. The Hermit card, with that understanding, is like you don't need to overwork yourself, because the only reason that this fish is dead is because it's out of water. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's out of water. You've been in hermit mode too much that it has you out of water. Has you hiding yourself, has you out of the solar system, has you out of your own elements, out of body almost. So with this being the complete opposite, the Eight of Cups is tapping back into you being emotionally vulnerable, you being emotionally available, you representing yourself in an expressive way, in a vulnerable way, and you don't need to share everything to be to share a part of your life, is what I'm hearing. Some people feel like they have to share every detail, get to like jam-pack people with knowledge and information about them, when the best information that they can get about you is just being around you and you showing up as yourself. So you don't have to share everything, but being vulnerable to express yourself to any degree, especially with a lot of this red coming out, root chakra energy, earth energy, Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, being grounded in what that means for root chakra. So that's housing, stability, finances, earthly possessions, realms, wealth, abundance, opportunities, things of that sort. And so it's really taking in, how can I show up for myself in ways where I don't feel like I need to be afraid? And it's abandoning the feel, because like I kept saying, it's like this lump in the throat. It's like you have to be vocal, you have to be expressive, you have to show up for self, and you have to abandon the way of feeling like it was a little while ago, and I was just kind of seeing like a little clip of like, you know, on Instagram you can like take screenshots of videos and then put the captions under it. So I was kind of swiping that, and this girl was like, for a while, because somebody had told her that she was too much, she stopped expressing when she enjoyed seeing people. She stopped expression when she was hurt. She stopped expressing like her. She just started being more quiet. She started being more reserved, and it took her away from herself. And so when she got truly around people where she was able to say, "Oh, I missed you. Oh, I'm glad that you're here," or "I'm glad we get to spend time," or whatever it is, it's this understanding. We're not going outside. I say thank you. Um, mm-hmm. It's this understanding where you're able to, when you abandon what it meant to be yourself, to express yourself, to be vulnerable, to be open, when you abandon all of those things that you feel like you needed to hold on to, when you let go, when you release, when you burn, when you bury it in the dirt to allow it to whatever the fuck you want to say for changing, that's what the opposite is. That's what the shift is. Taking this hermit energy of what you know about yourself, what has always been rooted, what has always been grounding you. And even look, it's only red on two things, the bottom and the mouth. Standing in, because Root chakra energy is I have energy. Not just I have material things, but I have the confidence to do this. I have the strength to do this. I have the knowledge to do this. I have the understanding. I have. You are now owning a possession of something, whether that's an energy, whether that's an aspect, whether that's a motivation. I have. You are now owning it. And when you have something, you vocalize that. And so they want you to say, I have these emotions, I have this capacity, I have this understanding, I have this depth, I have the knowledge for that, I have the solution for that. Or I have nothing to say. And so you're recognizing these things and allowing that to be your determinational focus, is recognizing what you have, not only from an actual physical standpoint, but emotionally. Allowing that to be your depth that carries you, and that's hilarious. I talked about emotional authority, me talking about if I ain't feeling the emotion. So that can also be a sign checking out your human design, or maybe you did check out your human design, astrology, things of that sort, just getting a deeper understanding of yourself from different ways, right? Some people are like, oh my God, when I go to this place, I show up and show out. Whereas this is kind of like, when you go to the library, you know your energy in the library is going to be quiet versus when you're going to the club, right? It's two different energies, right? But it's still a space where you can be yourself. So it's like you're recognizing that, understanding that it's different. You can show up in different ways and still be yourself. It may be a different environment, but I'm still me. I'm still that person. So that's what you're taking in. How you are deciding to emotionally express yourself. Realizing, do I need to share that? Is that necessary to share just to build a friendship or to have a relationship? It's like, do we need to, do I need to do that because now I'm saying I have this. Now I'm owning it. Now I'm saying this is also what I do. So that's a recognition for this as well. Where's my water? I drank my water. Oh my God. Honey bunches of oats. She scared me. Excuse me. So tap into that emotional authority, tap into that emotional knowledge, because with this Queen of Wands coming in here, this Libra energy, this Swords energy, this is about someone that had to do something logical while still dealing with their emotions, right? Someone that had to make a decision because they have blood on their sword and they have a tear in their eye and they have a veil over their face. So they obviously, if the Queen of Swords, people forget the Queen of Swords, Swords energy is Gemini, Aquarius, and fucking up. What's the other one? Oh my God, Libra. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. People forget that air sign energy is communication energy. It is written energy. It is research energy. It is logic energy. It is information. It is those things. It's heart chakra energy. Again, leading back to those emotions. It's expansion energy. It's what you cannot see, but what you can feel. And so you're recognizing you possibly have to make a decision. I'm hearing where you feel like you cut off a piece of yourself in order to become someone that knows how to use the words, how to get this understanding. And it possibly, I'm hearing, because Libra is also Venus energy, relationship energy, but it's about the harmonization of relationships, the balance of relationships without losing yourself. And you realize possibly an instance where someone you have to cut off some people, and you knew that it was a means, it was necessary, but it doesn't change how it made you feel. I'm hearing you have to restrict access. I keep almost saying that. Like, it's almost like Essex. I don't know, isn't that in like London? If I'm correct, I could be wrong, but London can be significant. But it's something where you realize something. And it could have been the previous full moon, but it's this energy where you realize you weren't really rooted in an energy of unhealed earth energy. Unhealed root chakra energy is survival mode. Feeling like you'll never have anything, feel like you'll lose anything at any moment in time. You don't feel like the ground, your energy, your world is stable. You don't feel like you are abundant. You feel dry. You feel deserted. And so, coming into this energy, you recognize and you started taking a look once you started looking at yourself. How you've been showing up for yourself, how you've been showing up for others in your environment, how that has been affecting you in your life, what you can do. You recognize some things need to be removed. And even if it's just your old self, like I said, some of you have to get rid of old self and disconnect from old habits and ideas. And it hurt you because in those moments you felt so sure, you felt so right. And you have to recognize you cannot process where you are in a way with the knowledge that you have of where you are. Sorry, you can't process where you were with the knowledge of where you are in that type of way. Because you didn't know then. You didn't understand then. You didn't have the capacity then. You were in that expansion of learning. And now you know. And now you understand. And so with this grasp, you have decided to make a move. You decided to make a change. I mean, with Swords energy also, Libra energy coming out, Queen of Swords energy, you have to speak some truth recently as well. I know. Eso fuerte. And so you have to speak some truth soon. But with that, it opened a lot of doors. I'm hearing somebody was hermit mode doesn't. I always tell people hermit mode doesn't have to be. I've been in my house for a very, very long time. Like I just haven't been out. Hermit mode can be hermit inside of your emotions, and I feel like you have been hermited inside of your own body, inside of your own emotions. And that's why Spirit is saying you don't need to overshare to feel like you need to catch up. You don't need to do the most. You don't need to damn yourself. You don't need to overextend yourself. You just need to be who you are. Because all those things is hermit mode. Because again, you're in learning mode. People also forget Virgo energy is learning energy. Understand, gathering information. The only sign with the body. And so your emotions, you're allowing yourself to cry when you need to, get angry when you need to, feel melancholy when you need to. Doing what you, and because you know, even with the red on her lips, the red here, the red, you're recognizing what you have. Which leads to the Page of Pentacles, the complete opposite. And when I say opposite, it's kind of like, I guess, a balance, but opposite. Because if you say opposite sides of the earth, it doesn't make the other side of the earth bad or good. You get what I'm saying? I'm just opposite. Not contradiction. Thank you. Ashe. We got the Page of Pentacles. I always have to say the pages are somebody that's like, it's almost like somebody's like, okay, I might take a gap year, or I might go to college, or I might just travel the world, or I might just immediately jump into the job market. Or it's a person that's right out of being told what to learn. They are deciding what to learn for themselves, what to go after for themselves, what to be passionate about, right? And so with the Page of Pentacles, Pentacles again being that earth energy, abundance energy, material energy, wealth energy, long-term energy, right? Rooted energy. You're recognizing I have unlimited possibilities and ideas where I can create something, where I can do something. I'm hearing these swords have now turned into these wrenches to build up what you need, because you recognize what you have. And if you can see, their whole body kind of looks green, that green chakra. On the other side of Libra, heart chakra, air energy. You see what I'm saying? It went up here, the green with the fish. It was only dead because it was out of water. And now you're recognizing where you were dead because you felt like a fish out of water, which you shouldn't be, because it's like, why is a fish? You get what I'm saying? It's like, why am I not in my element? And so once you start vibing in your element, being in yourself, being in your being, that's when you allow yourself to be like, I can do this. I can create this. because I have this, because I know this, because I do this, because of who I am. I speak, I feel, I have, I love all these things. And so it's allowing you to create something new. Your emotions are on the forefront. And that is not a hindrance to you. That is not a liability to you. That is not a distraction to you. That is not a disturbance to you. That is an anchor to you. When you want to decide to dock your ship, you can also pull that bitch back up. That's wings to you, so you can fly when you need to. You get higher perspective and understanding. There's skates, whether you're roller or ice, bitch, you can get across what you need to get across. With this page of Pentacles coming in, you are coming up with ideas, with understandings of just trying things because you recognize, I have the knowledge, or I have the understanding, or I have the resources, or I have the support, or I have a new foundation, or I have a new way of thinking. So I can do this, I will do this, and you're speaking and acting in that energy and that emotion. Okay, let's go ahead and get some final cards for you here. This deck is like, I gotta change this. Why can't it's my baby? This stuff on me now. Final. Spirit. Spirit. Okay. Ooh, Ashe. I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah. Yes, we are taking all these cards as well. But they said start with pulling off 2 more. Get smart. But with the Ten of Swords being in reverse, like I said, you're no longer confining yourself into a box. You're no longer confining yourself into a mental state, into an emotional state, into almost like allowing yourself to be peer pressure. Like I said, hermit mode is not just being in your house. It can be feeling trapped and hermited inside of your body, not speaking when you want to speak, not doing what you want to do. Going back into stuff, but that also makes you like, why am I doing this? Why am I not saying that? Why did that disturb me? Why did... Or it is going inside of your house. Like, I don't feel like being perceived right now, seen. I don't want to interact with nobody. I don't want to possibly see nobody. Leave me the fuck alone. But with all these swords and cups coming out, you have been going into your body. And so you're releasing that mentally. It started mentally. To cut any attachments that were roped into your soul that allowed to feel like your emotions were entangled in something that was not yours, that could not even reach the depths of an ocean to even try to rescue you, and you cut that bitch. Because it wasn't saving you, it was just hindering you and leaving you descended in some false transcendentness of what it could or could not be for who you are and what it is. So you let it go. You decided to not emote any of these emotions that anybody else decided to prophesy on yourself. Even your own subconscious mind that decided to be the forefront of how you were acting. And you decided to remove that. You said the longevity of my life, my emotions, my depth will be shared with those that are understanding and worthy of that. And so that's where the Lovers come in. The Gemini energy comes in. That air energy comes in. That yes, my logic and emotion balance each other out with a reason that is beyond your understanding, because bitch, you are not even somebody that is inquisitive enough to figure out what the words mean that you're saying right now. And I don't have the time to express my vulnerability, my trauma, my love, my joy, or anything to you, because bitch, what? No. I'm creating something more, and it will not fall on ears that decide not to hear. Because even deaf people can see me and listen. Ashe. So with the Lover's card, again, choices, endless possibilities of creation for wealth, for abundance, for security, for home life, for expression of self, to feel like I don't always need to recluse back inside, but I can just do what I need to do. You got a choice, you got a decision, and it's going to be a beautiful one. It's going to be a connection. Partner, like business partner, romantic partner. Ooh. Yeah, you have to get, can you see that? Yeah, you can. You have to get real authoritative with your energy because you knew what was coming. You knew what you were giving birth to. You knew what your body was finna respond to. You knew what new path you were walking. So you knew you had to stamp out anybody that was not necessary. Stamp out any thoughts, any old habits, any old things, and not in a way of like, ooh, cold turkey, I was able to do it overnight. I don't even know what the fuck cold turkey means. It sounds fucking disgusting. But you didn't have to do it like, it's slowly, kind of like the Cenosaurus. Like I said, you were severing it. You realize what connections are not working. And along the way, you see it's a blood trail. She didn't use that sword just once. You didn't use that sword just once. You didn't speak up just once. It was those small moments when you decided what you wanted to wear and not asking anybody what they possibly think. You saying what you want to say in those meetings, on your page. I'm hearing on your page, you're saying what you want to say on your page because which is your page. Like you're that was continuously pulling out those swords from a box that was holding you. And you realize a lot of people were not deserving to see what you were giving birth to. Whether that was an actual baby or not, but they were not deserving. Because, bitch, where were you where I was smelling like dead fish? You liked me out my element. Hell no. Wow. Yeah. Because I feel it. There we go. Can you see that too? Yes, you can. You can't see it, zoom in. Because I can't. But yeah, once you have decided to make a decision, right, where you rejuvenated yourself. Four of Swords is rejuvenation of the mind, like I said. Going back into your mind. Why did I do this? Why did I say that? Why do I feel like I can't? I like that. Whatever. Let me take some time. Like I said, yours is not a hermit of actually going inside. It could have been for some, but for a lot of you, it was inside of your mental state, inside of your emotional state. And like I said, those swords are not even holding this person down, holding this person in. There are so many connections that I always wanted to stake a claim in the roses that were blooming, but had no experience in burying the fucking body. But you want to stake your claim, make a mark so you can come back once the roses have bloomed to take a pluck? I think the fuck not. And what did I say about wings? Wings, okay? And you got your sword, your one sword that you need. And then realize that sword was a wand, was a scepter, was commanding things. So you said, I had to bury myself to bloom. Had to bury myself to see where I wanted to root at. Where I wanted to be grounded at. Where I wanted to be centered at. And it starts with self. And with their hands over their heart, it started with self. And so that led you to even more wealth. King of Pentacles. Taurus energy. Somebody that knows how to try risky things, but it always leads to the highest reward because you're like, this is not really a risk when I know I can take already components that are working and make something work better. It's just a leap of if I'm going to be with somebody. Like I said, somebody, it can be a business partner. I'm going to be with somebody that also is willing to work on that with me, to trust me with that. It reminds me of, I'm seeing when the Try Guys first started. I was with them since they was in BuzzFeed, but it don't matter. You know, I'm not one of those people. I'm so stupid. Anyway, well, when they artists actually BuzzFeed, the Try Guys, the original four, you know what I'm talking about, and they were all kind of scared. We all talked to the family about it, like, this is a big risk, we're putting a lot of, stake into it, like, we won't probably see a return in some time, but they had a partnership to know they have the working components, not only themselves, but they have people that they know can edit, can do this, they have an extra place, like, they had all the resources. It was just a risk of putting it all together. And you're working with people, spirit, to recognize, yeah, I tried, yeah, let's go ahead. Why the fuck not? Let's see. The worst that can happen is we learn. So that way we can succeed in a way that we actually enjoy next time. So, King of Pentacles, wealth, abundance, longevity, and it's crazy because the pentacles that you're getting are always like the point it out. Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, like all those pentacles are really great. But when people see this, like only one, this is longevity. He's the fucking king. Almost like they said, he's the page, which means he's a descendant of the, if I'm thinking of the rulership right, if I'm remembering correctly, or I'm thinking of the chessboard. Any other way, but they in the same court together. You know what the fuck I'm saying? It may not look like a lot, but sometimes it's not what you know, sometimes it's not what you have, thank you, it's what you know. And what you know is also what you have. Like I said, I have knowledge. I have understanding. You're recognizing that. I have depth. I have grown. I have birthed some new ideas. Some new ways of thinking. Some new ways of moving my body. It reminds me of Naruto, where he was trying to learn the Rasengan, right? And he was trying to do it the exact same way that he was taught. But he has to use a shadow clone in order to make a Rasengan. Is he still making a Rasengan? Yes. But is he doing it the same way he was taught? No. Again, you're taking what you were taught or society or person, and you're like, I'm going to change it. And that brings to wealth, to abundance, to stability. To people that want to see you prosper and pushing you to prosper. Final two cards that we have is fucking Two of Pentacles and Cancer energy. Look at that. Two of Pentacles, balancing spiritual practices. Taking a leap of faith with the Chariot. Being like, you know what, I can trust on me, I can bet on me, and that balances your wealth. That balances your spirit. Because if you can rely on the body that is operating in all of these things and all of these facets, I was like to say, you are the longest relationship that you will ever have. You cannot separate from yourself. You are the longest relationship that you will ever have. You are the only person that you will ever be with 24/7. There is never any separation from yourself. So I'm going to be, even if I only live to a certain age, but that was the longest relationship. That was the longest thing I've ever did, was be me, be around me, be me. So if I'm my longest relationship, if I'm centered around myself and I'm watering myself, anything else is an expansion of me, is an extension, is a grasp. That's why I say it's what I have. Those are my friends. I'm claiming them. I have that. Chariot energy, Cancer energy. For house, home energy. So you were like, I need a place. I need a new home. I need an environment where I can truly... Cancer energy, Chariot energy, home energy. No, Ashe. They said one more card from the top. So you're balancing it. And it took you going into yourself. The only reason... Pentacles are heavy. Okay? They're heavy. And she's dancing under the moonlight. Belly dancing. On her tiptoes. Grounded and rooted. Making it look effortless. But baby, it took crying. It took going into self. It took feeling stuck. It took having to abandon. It took... This is what people see. They just see you moving on, but they don't see that you thought of this idea. You planned it together with yourself and spirit. You rooted yourself in and grounded because you knew it the long. They just see you moving. They just see you with the new car. They just see you with the new job. They just see you with the new. They just, but they don't see, baby. I've been moving this whole time, trusting myself. Three of Wands is swords. Swords, I believe, are days. I think wands are weeks. Because I know, yeah. Yeah, so 3 weeks, I believe. 3 days to 3 weeks. Shit, Spirit like to be like, fuck, it could be 3 hours. Try if you want to. I just love Spirit because they be like it. Sometimes, at least for my Spirit team, they be like, we're kind of taking that as a challenge. You giving us this time limit, especially since I have Capricorn and Neptune in the 2nd house. Capricorn likes to be challenged, so does Taurus. So it's like, oh, you give me. And that's my spiritual realm. So Spirit team be like, oh. So I don't know if you guys like that. That can be a sign for someone. But 3 of Wands is about expecting something. You already planted the fucking seeds. Now you're just expecting it. You know it's going to come. You're expecting what you planted to bear fruit. And the fact that I said the longest relationship that you'll have is with yourself, and look at where it's coming out of. Yourself. The entire thing is coming out of yourself. Being nourished by the moon, i.e. your intuition, your gut. Right on time, because they're going to be like, so, and then, wow, and the fact that I only looked there just to, that was, thank you, Spirit. I needed that because I need to do that. But this is a blessing. And it's not going to be a blessing in disguise to you. Be ready to be vulnerable with the right people. Be ready to be open and honest with the right people. Be ready to be accepted by the right people. Because you realize, as long as I accept myself, I don't give a fuck you don't. And that's what leads to people be like, hey, let me, and you're like, okay. Or I fuck with this, or I don't fuck with this. Lover's energy options. I ain't gotta let you around me just because you want to be around me. Of course you want to be around me. But that has been the reading. I love you guys. Love yourselves more. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I read the comments, I reply. Subscriptions help, all the good jazz. But see you next time.